Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthers, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka, and this is a follow-up to my video that I did recently, the best loadout in PUBG Mobile. Now, you might have seen there's been a few videos pop up since that have featured the Mark 14, which was obviously the mystery gun that I featured there. But I didn't. And I've had a few questions on it. It's obviously a popular topic. It's the topic du jour. Let's call it that. As Sanhok's about to drop today, and that's probably going to be the topic du jour now. But it leads to a bigger question. I've had some people contact me and say, hey, I can't fire the Mark 14. And in addition, I can't fire the SKS. And I can't fire the bloody SLR either. You know, what's wrong with me? Why can you get these results from the gun, but I'm not getting those results as well? And it's probably because they're firing the gun like that. Like I was there with that guy, which is too fast. You've got to have restraint with these weapons. And I'm going to take you through a few clips. I'm going to show you all the 7.62 guns, the SLR, the SKS, the Mark 14. And I'm going to talk about their relationship to the game and the way you want to be playing them, and that whole smooth operator, getting down low, getting dirty, James Brown style. You want to get out there with these guns, but you want to actually have some rhythm with them. The Mini 14 is just like the old white dude on the dance floor, just busting out 1,000 hand moves a minute and doing absolutely nothing of any positivity. You want to be the guy that is grinding and slow and really feeling the rhythm. That is where you want to be with 7.62mm shells. Why? They do more damage. The Mini 14 is sporadic. It will throw so much lead out into an engagement. It has a 990 meters per second shell speed, but it only does 46 damage. Now you're dealing with 100 hit point targets. Now that's base damage is 46. Into a level 2 vest, a Mini 14 is going to do 29 damage. An SKS into a level 2 vest is going to do 33.4 damage. And you can see that's a big difference. That's a really big difference. It's like 15% difference. You've got to start finding your way with these guns. It's restraint. That's what it really comes down to. Waiting for the target. I know he's got to sit in that thing. I'm just going to wait for him to sit in the top of that thing. There we go. Thank you very much. And then I'm going to wait for this guy to come over here and think about rezzing his mate. And then I'm just going to take nice, easy shots. Lead the target a little bit. I could step on that so much harder and fire it so much faster, but I would get absolutely rubbish results. And that is what happens with a lot of people with those guns. It especially happens with the SLR. The SLR is like the poster child for this. The SLR has right up there base damage. Its base damage is 58. It's another 5 on top of the SKS. And its rate of fire is exactly the same as the Mini 14. So you can hammer that button as fast as you want, just like a Mini 14. But the SLR will climb up to the moon, whereas the Mini 14 will stay rock steady and let you fire those shells. What you want to do with these guns is try and make your first point of contact a headshot. Watch this guy. It's going to be one headshot, then a body shot. I mean, how hard was that? Like, you can fire 10 rounds a second if you really, really jam it, right? With these guns. But they will go nowhere near the target. Or if you're lucky, they'll go to the target. If they're right in front of you, go for it. Use it like a fake AR. But for the most part, you want to make sure that you're getting your shots in a smooth manner. Let the recoil come back to you. If you're still firing as the gun is going up, the gun's not going to stop going up. So I'm going to show you the Mark 14 now. And the reason I'm saying this one particularly, I'm showing you another clip. This isn't from last time's video, 2 days ago, the video I dropped 3 days ago. I can't remember. It's all a blur. It's all sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby. This is the Mark 14 in a solo first-person game on the North American server. I treat this gun with a lot of respect. If I get a hold of it, I feel like I'm lucky to have it. I feel like it's a massive advantage on the rest of the field. Your base damage is 61. The Kar 98's base damage is 75. So you're getting up towards the top end of the table in terms of single shot damage, and yet you also have this full auto mode and some amazingly good shell velocity for a 7.62 round. You also have the recoil, okay? So If you want to see what it looks like when you step on it, when you really drop the hammer on the single tap, I'll show you that, because I make a huge error here where I push someone and I do that age-old PUBG Mobile noob out where you think you're in auto and you're in single tap, and the first tap is just like, oh, why aren't they falling over? And then you have to tap it really, really, really fast, really, really quick. So you're going to see that in just a sec. But there's a guy down there, so I'm going to switch scopes. I'm running it with the 3x at the moment, using it as my main loadout. I'm running the M416 still, but the M416 is just basically carrying my 6x. And then I'm going to go to single shot mode, and I'm going to fire at this guy down here. Now, I fire relatively quick, but it's by no means, like, look at me, that's an 8x scope. We're just managing it very nicely, easing into it, keeping a nice rhythm, like being smooth, just making sure that we've got a real handle on the weapon. Even when I'm in full auto, you're going to see there's a target to my, I think it's to my northeast is going to pop in just a second. And I'm going to give him some time to come down the mountain a bit, jump out into an area where I can get a hold of him, and then I'm just going to double tap him, like with auto rounds, just 2 rounds, 3 rounds in burst. And the gun does so much damage that that's all you really need. Like, as long as you're in control and pacing yourself with the weapon, it'll look after you. If you let it unleash, the gun will go freaking everywhere. But that's... I fired 9 rounds there. We got a headshot, the body shot, and a body shot. And I did it across 4 different bursts. Yeah, it is what it is. You need to be comfortable with this. So if you're wondering why you're not hitting these shots with the SKS, and you're not hitting the shots with the Mark 14, and you're not hitting the shots with the SLR, and especially like if you're using the AKM, if you're not hitting the shots with the AKM, it suffers from the same conditions. You've got to be gentle with it. You've got to squeeze those bursts off. You've got to make sure that everything is smooth. Even when it feels like you need to rush, you've got to take your time. Unless, of course, you push into a house. And I'm very aggressive. Like, I have to be aggressive. And that's not because I think it's the best way to play. It's probably not. If you want to get a lot of rating points and you want to grind Conqueror or something, you can go drop, sit in a house for 25 minutes and finish top 10 every time, and you'll grind ratings. You really will. You'll do it fine. But I can't do that. It's valid. It's a valid playstyle. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Like, it can be frustrating to find someone late game in a house, but at the same time, game's called a battle royale. It's not called a first 1 to 10 kills gets a biscuit. There's a guy in this house, right? And you're going to see me in a second. Here we go. I'm going to peek. Is he in here? Oh, there he is. Here comes my auto. Oh, step on it. That's how fast you can tap it out, right? Let's show that again. Watch my huge error here where I realize I'm not in full auto. Watch how fast you can fire this gun. And if you're firing it like that, down scope, you won't be able to throw it in the ocean accurately. you won't be able to hit a cliff face accurately. Like, if you fire an SKS or an SLR or a Mark 14 like that downrange, all you're going to hit is air, and that will not win you gunfights. It will not win you the engagement. And I think that is something that really needs to be hammered home. So the next time you pick up one of these things, just be patient with it. Treat it like a sniper rifle. Your first shot's going to hit, or your second, or your third, but your shell velocity is better than a Kar 98K, and everyone that loves the Kar 98K, there's a huge cross-section. If you're looking at the Venn diagram of PUBG, there is a huge cross-section of people. Even this guy here, who I auto-fire into, I'm going to spot him on the left, hiding behind a rock. I tap him out in 2 bursts, because that's the most concise way of fighting with a 7.62 round. Unless they're within 10 meters, I'm just firing off there to see if the guy will poke out the window. I'm literally just firing those rounds off to see if he'll come and have a look and see who's having a gunfight. But the grub won't. He's well entrenched. Well, there he is down there. 2 bursts. We got through 9 rounds in 3 shot bursts, but the first 2 killed him. We'll finish this one off, but I think I've made the point. You can use them in close quarters combat, absolutely, especially early game, picking up an SKS or an SLR into unarmored targets. It's freaking ugly how that thing taps people out, but we're certain this guy's in there. Like, there's 2 guys left. There has to be someone in that house. I should have actually checked in the box. There was no one in the box, but you get people in those boxes all the time. I'm going to push into the house now, and I'm going to try and clear this bloke. I'm going to frag a whole bunch, mainly because, I mean, if you're like me, you save all these frag grenades. There's only 2 people left alive. Every once in a while, you'll get lucky and land one right on top of their noggin, which is great for everyone concerned, except for them. I don't know where the 3rd guy was while I was doing this, because he is actually on the southern side of this building. But we're going to go in and we're just going to go full auto on this bloke. And it works a treat. The gun's just a beast. Full auto on this thing. The fastest time to clear a target in the entire game. Like, this is where it's at. Look at how fast that thing goes. I mean, it's beast mode. Yeah. And you're going to see here, I actually do this really poorly. I try to hold down the auto, strafe and just bash it out, and it misses him completely. And it's not till I actually slow down and get a hold of myself and hit the target that we get some value out of the gun. And you can see here, just aim it. Let the gun do the work. I'm Bushka. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was helpful for you. Stick around. There's a lot more stuff coming on channel. Thank you everyone who's supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. I know I'm not the best player out there, but I try and think things through, and I try and look at the numbers and run the angles and get the most out of my loadout every single game. And hopefully that's something that resonates with you guys. Until next time, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.